All right. Welcome everyone to the Wednesday night FSTSwap call. We do this on Monday nights, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday at 12 noon. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to have a special meeting as usual. We want to get everybody informed as best as possible. We have myself co-hosting with David Charles, Renee Charles. We have AJ on the call. Welcome. Aziz, Carlos, welcome. Chris from Calgary, welcome. Clinton Samuels is on the call with us. Craig, Paulette, David Jr. We have Debbie from Jamaica. Doris, welcome from Vancouver. We have Edwidge. And we have a few phones that are showing up. Can you change your name and put your real name there so we can identify you and say hello? So we have a couple of iPhones. Please adjust the name there. We have Kazi. We also have Lana, Mahbub from Dallas, Marlene, and we have Maxine, Naket. Welcome to the call. Piotr, Rachel, Sanjeev from Seattle, and Vineet from Miami, and more people still coming into the room. Thank you once again for joining us. This is our FSTSwap call Wednesday nights, and we're happy to present this incredible platform. I want to introduce our amazing host. We all know David Charles, or for those that don't know David Charles, and you're new to the platform, you're in for a treat. He is an absolutely incredible gentleman with it, speaks so eloquently and gets the information with the most precise way as possible. I love listening to him. He has been a mentor for me on our platform, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him in Dubai. It was the first time we actually ever met. He met me in the gym. We were working out, and he actually showed up and said hello, and it was just an amazing experience just to see him for the first time. We've been on Zoom calls for over a year and building a community. We were part of a platform last year where we were trading a bot. And then from there, we were introduced to a DeFi project with our amazing friend in Taiwan, Paul. And we got to know a little bit about what the DeFi space is. And we've started learning together as a lot of people started coming together and giving their information and their expertise on DeFi. And of course, we're still learning. We have a lot more to learn about this platform. We are in an amazing project right now, and we're going to have David Charles introduce this platform and give us an overview of what it is all about. Thank you. David, come on in, buddy.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you. And yeah, it's really interesting when you're on a journey, when you meet people in today's day and age, you can know somebody for a long period of time and never met them in person, build amazing relationships. And so it was amazing to meet Peter in person. And I got to tell you, Peter is exactly who you think he is when you meet him in person. He's the same guy you see on calls. Lots of fun. He's just an amazing individual. So happy to know you, Peter. All right, so let's get into our call. I see some names on the call that I don't recognize. And so I want to make sure that if you're a guest on the call, that we take a moment to acknowledge and recognize you. So if you're a guest on the call, do us a favor just so we can say, hey, we're not going to do anything embarrassing, I promise. We just want to say hi to you. So if you're a guest on the call, just say me in the chat, if you would. Just 2 letters. Just type me in the chat so we know to acknowledge you, and we know to pay extra special attention if there are any questions that you might have. While you guys do that, I just want to say awesome. Thank you. All right, we've got a couple guests tonight. Wonderful. Welcome to tonight's call. So tonight's call is we'll do an overview of this project. The project that we're going to talk about tonight is called FSTSwap. FSTSwap is actually a decentralized exchange, a DEX. And so we'll talk about what that is, and we'll talk about, at the end of the day, what you are all here to learn about, and what we want you to leave with is a clear understanding that there's an opportunity for you to participate in the DeFi space. DeFi is decentralized finance, and we're not going to get super technical on this call, although we can if you have very specific questions. What we want to do is simply introduce you to the opportunity to participate in the project and with us in this community. And so I want to jump in, and I'm going to open up and share my screen with you guys. And let's start here. Let's just talk about some of the highlights of the project. All right, so we want to welcome you to FSTSwap. And let's talk a little bit about what FSTSwap is. So FSTSwap is an automated market maker that allows the exchange of 2 tokens on the Binance Smart Chain. It's fast, it's affordable, and it allows anyone to participate. So if you are new and you're new to crypto or new to DeFi, then a auto market maker may be new to you. And so most of us are familiar with crypto, at least at this point. And so in crypto, you have centralized exchanges and you have decentralized exchanges. And most of us are familiar with the centralized. Centralized simply means that when you decide to open an account, say with Coinbase, which is a centralized exchange, or Binance, or Huobi, or Kraken, or any of those are centralized exchanges. And what happens is when you open an account and you fund that account with your funds, with your crypto, all of that crypto stays in their wallet. Very similar to how if you open a bank account, the funds stay in your bank account. But one of the key differences in the decentralized exchange is that the funds stay in your wallet. They actually never leave your custody. And many of us may never really consider the fact that in centralized exchanges, the custody of your crypto is actually somewhere else. It's actually with the exchange. And so DeFi provides a level of kind of autonomy and control that we don't have in the centralized exchanges. And what's amazing about it is what we just read. It's fast, it's affordable, and absolutely anyone can participate. If you guys have been around crypto for a while, you know that on centralized exchanges, there's something called KYC, stands for Know Your Customer. It's a way of doing identity verification. And so there are people all around the world that are unable to verify their identity, either because they don't have one for any number of reasons, or it just doesn't work. We know lots of folks that have IDs and for some reason the system just won't approve them. And so the decentralized exchange space, the DeFi space, gives access to millions and millions of people who are left out of the more traditional areas of finance, and particularly in areas where there's an opportunity to earn by investing. So let's talk a little bit about future plans. We do have future plans. By we, I mean the community and the project does have future plans for its own blockchain. And blockchain is the underlying technology that drives all of this cryptocurrency hype that you've been seeing over the last few years. It's an amazing technology. We won't go into a whole lot of detail about it, but if you really want to gain an appreciation for why crypto is so explosive and why this entire space is so powerful, blockchain is an important piece for you to understand. So this project will evolve in the very near future, before the end of this year, into having its own blockchain. And the development is currently underway, and we're garnering lots and lots of attention from communities around the world. Let's talk a little bit about community. We have a strong community that supports pretty much what we do. When we say supports everything we do, we use a word a lot here called consensus. Consensus is essentially the agreement amongst all of us that this is how we're going to function. This is what we're going to do. And what makes this project and this opportunity so very, very special is these two words, community and consensus, is this group of people that are spread all over the world that have come together and made a few decisions. We'll talk about what those decisions are here in just a moment. FSTSwap has two native tokens. The first one is FIST, F-I-S-T, and the second one is OSK. With 250,000 and 100,000 holders, there are hundreds of thousands of community members that are holding these tokens, and that number is growing every day. Hundreds of other tokens have paired up with FIST in our ecosystem, and these ecologies are joining hands to collaborate and develop the FSTSwap DEX. All right, so as of May 1st, 2022, we have officially deployed our mining contract to start mining our future mainnet token. So we talked about FIST, we talked about OSK, and there's now a third token that's involved in the equation. That one is called FON, F-O-N. At the core of what we do in this project is we provide liquidity, and we provide liquidity for a number of different pairs. Let's talk about what providing liquidity is for just a second. So you may not have considered it, and this might not be a perfect example, but I think it hopefully is simple enough that you understand. So I think most of us on the call here probably either have or have had or know somebody who's had a bank account, right? Got a bank account, and with a bank account, you open the account, put $100 in it. What happens to that $100? Bank takes it, and they don't leave it sitting in your account. They take it and they spend it. They do something with it. Well, what you're essentially doing is you're providing liquidity for the bank. They're using your $100 or whatever funds you put into that account, and they're going out into the marketplace, they're loaning it, and they're earning from it. And so providing liquidity in the DeFi space, very similar to what you do in a bank. The very big difference, however, is that unlike where the bank is taking your money and they're making money off of it, and then turning around and charging you fees, in DeFi, you actually get to collect the fees. And so the automated market maker that we mentioned at the very beginning, basically what happens is, if you've been around crypto, you know that every time you buy and or sell crypto, there's a fee attached to it. It doesn't matter whether you're on any exchange, the fees may vary, but there's a fee that's involved in moving crypto from one point to the other. Well, in DeFi, what happens is those who are providing liquidity are actually collecting and sharing in those fees. And so the more active a liquidity pool or an ecosystem is, the more fees are being earned by those who are providing liquidity. All right. The beautiful thing about the project that we're talking about here is that this isn't a short-term project. This actually is a project that was born of a vision in October of 2020. So we're about almost 2 years into the evolution of this project. And what we're looking forward from today going forward is 7 more years that's already planned in a roadmap of mining this mainnet token. We'll be using the FIS liquidity pools to stake into the farms to mine FON for the next 7 years. And in order to attract other members of the community, we've added a number of peers. The ecosystem has added Ethereum paired up with FIS. They've added BNB paired up with FIS, and BNB paired up with USDT. And of course, Ethereum is the second largest by market cap, the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, and BNB, I think it's either number 3 or number 4. So major attention coming into the FSTSwap ecosystem. All right, so daily income. If you hear nothing else that we talk about today, I want you to understand and take this message away, because maybe you're new to crypto and maybe all of this that we talk about, it's gonna be a lot of information and maybe most of it goes over your head. But if you leave here today with one thing, I want you to remember, this is the opportunity you came to hear about. And that is that by mining FON tokens, and mining is very similar to what you, I'm sure, have heard about with Bitcoin miners. The difference is that we don't need big, fancy, expensive machines that burn a bunch of energy. All of this is done in the cloud, and it's very, very easy to do. Anybody can do it. By mining FON tokens, members earn a daily income. The income is paid to you in FON. FON currently has a value. Can somebody jump in and tell me what the current value of FON is? Just drop it in the chat or unmute. You can interrupt me and tell me what's FON worth today. But you're mining FON tokens by providing liquidity for any number of liquidity pools. We'll talk about what those look like. And you can withdraw those every day. You have the option of harvesting the FON that you're mining. You can do that at any time. And once you harvest the FON, you can swap it for USDT. And of course, you can convert that USDT back into your own native currency or your own fiat currency and spend it however you like. And so this is really, really very powerful. I want to give you an example of, and this is the overview, guys. I want to give you an example of how this is similar to an experience that I've been having, that I've been kind of enjoying. So I have an account with a centralized exchange, crypto.com. I like crypto.com. They're very easy to use. And what I like about them is they give you a little debit card. And so I wanted to experiment with this a number of months ago. And so I've fallen in love with using this debit card. And for no other reason than it pays me back. We're staking something, a couple $100 worth of CRO, which is their native token. And so every time we spend on this crypto.com card, I earn CRO. So for me, it just makes sense. If I were using my bank debit card, they wouldn't be giving me anything. They actually charge me fees for maintaining an account with them. So I love the fact that just by using this asset in crypto, I'm earning more crypto. And I like the fact that CRO, being the native token of crypto.com, I think crypto.com has a pretty good chance of becoming a really big thing in the crypto space. Well, that's easy enough for most of us to understand. A lot of credit cards give you rewards, frequent flyer miles, and those kinds of things. So there's a reward for you participating in their ecosystem. Well, that's essentially what we're doing. When you're participating in a liquidity pool, it's very much like that. You're earning something for your participation, and you get to spend it right away. I can actually go into my crypto.com, convert that CRO to USDT or cash and spend it. And so very, very similar. What we're doing here is as simple as that. You guys have all experienced something along those lines and very similar. So that's a brief overview. What I want to do here before we get into any more details, I want to pause, and we've talked about consensus and community quite a bit. And community, the community aspect of what we do is really very key. And so why is it key? Is because DeFi can be difficult to understand. It can be hard to figure out, keep up with. There's a lot of moving parts. The entire industry of crypto is relatively new. And what this community has done, by community, I mean there's hundreds of thousands around the world. And when we first got introduced to this community, what really blew us away was the way that the community, the people came together. They would do calls every single day, hundreds, thousands of people showing up on calls, hundreds of offices around the world. Most of the community was built in China and in Asia. Hundreds of people showing up at these at offices to learn, to get empowered, to get information. They didn't try to absorb it all. They weren't chasing a dollar. They were really spending the time that was necessary to understand how to make this project successful. And so that's the foundation that this project is built on. And for us, we followed in those footsteps. By us, I mean the English speaking community. And that's what we represent. You'll see the cards, the Zoom profile cards for a lot of the members here representing the English international community. And so we've done the same thing. We have created a nurturing environment where if you're interested in participating in this project, if you'd like to learn more, the good thing that you should leave here, the other thing that you should leave here today's call knowing is that you're not alone. And we do these kinds of calls. We actually do a call like this 3 times a week where we just talk about the project. And we do a number of other things. We'll do a deep dive into different aspects of the project so that you're always learning. We show up so that we can answer questions as the project is changing and evolving. And then we also do live support calls twice a week, where if you have a technical question, there's somebody there to help you and hold your hand, walk you through it. We think that that's a huge, huge, huge value add because there is an amazing opportunity here. Again, we're going to show you an opportunity where you can participate in DeFi, earn an APR in the triple digits, and it's all very, very passive, and you don't have to be experienced to do it. There's nobody here that's going to earn a commission by you participating. This isn't a business opportunity call. This is strictly an opportunity to get an understanding about how to get involved in DeFi and to help us grow this community. And so the question is, why do we care whether or not you participate? Well, I'll tell you why. Because all of us on the call, or most of us on the call, are participating in this project. Our funds, our capital, our investment is in this community, it's in this project. And one of the things that we learned since we started with this project almost a year ago was the importance of the consensus of our community. And that's the other word that we talked about. That consensus is that we participate by staking in the liquidity pool. And as a result of that, our liquidity pools are massive, over $400 million, for one of our liquidity pools, over $250,000 for another one of our liquidity pools, over $250 million for another one of our liquidity pools, massive liquidity pools. And what that means is that the project is incredibly stable. And so that happens because the community understands what matters to keep this project going, what matters to keep it strong, and we're all committed to one another. So we want you to understand the project, to be able to participate in the project, because the more people that get exposed to it and really understand it, and then are committed for the long run and are reaping the rewards of staying in it, then everybody else and together we create a more stable environment, a more stable ecosystem. And so at the core of this entire project, what really matters is the people. This is a project that wasn't built by developers who funded it. Every single one of the tokens that we just mentioned to you were mined. And so the wallet distribution is incredibly decentralized. It simply means that there isn't a developer that's controlling this project that can pull the rug from under you because they hold a large amount of the tokens. This really is a community-oriented project. And so with that being said, I want you all to hear, I want to introduce a member of our community, somebody who, of course, if you're a part of the community, you know really well. She's very much involved in all aspects of what we do. She's on support calls all the time. And so it's important just for us to be able to hear from one another. One of the things that I enjoyed, we heard from T.O. on Monday, And as we were listening to Tio, I was like, wow, we were commenting after the call about how much we learned about somebody that's right here in our community. And so we love to learn about the different members in our community and really create an atmosphere where we are learning and supporting one another. So without any further ado, the person I want to introduce to you, and I just want to ask Edwidge to share a little bit about her story, her journey, anything at all that's important to her. And her name is Edwidge. And Edwidge, I want you to, I've never actually tried to say your last name. So I want you to, if you don't mind, if you would, tell us how you pronounce your last name to get us kicked off.
You're gonna get a tongue tie. Safak. The T is silent, so it's Safak.
Safak. Awesome. Thank you, Edwidge. Edwidge, I appreciate you so much. I thank you. I watched you just absolutely blossom in our community. So I'm going to ask you to take the floor. Just spend a couple of minutes, whatever's on your heart that you'd like to share with us. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, David. Thank you. And hello, everyone. So my name is Edwidge, and actually I am from Cameroon. Cameroon is a country in Africa. I've been in the US for like over 15 years. And my background is in law. Don't ask me anything about the law, but because I haven't practiced for like maybe since I've been in the US, but my background is in law. So I'm really, really excited to be here. And I'm just so happy we have people here that really wanted to learn about this project, because from the day that Paul introduced FSTSwap angle, which is now FSTSwap to us, I felt that this was the one that actually is going to help a lot of people, including myself, to really reach the goal, and mostly the financial goal. And for me, it was so important because right before the project was introduced to us, I had just decided, priority was in March, that I was going to start pursuing financial FIRE, which is financial independence and retire early. So I was already in crypto. I was in DeFi, but the DeFi was on centralized exchanges, like David mentioned. It was good compared to our traditional banks. But when I discovered DeFi, the way it's presented with FSTSwap, I was just blown away. So I had made that decision to become financially independent, and then I started doing a lot of research, to how to attain that financial independency. I was just doing a lot of research, and then I was reading a lot of books about personal development and listening to a lot of tips, But the one that really touched me, that opened my heart and my mind to a lot of things, was the one I was listening. It was Earl Nightingale, and the title of the tip is "The Strangest Secret in the World." So in that, when I was listening to him, so it was kind of like a little bit of challenge. Like, if you listen to this tip for 30 days, then you will realize that there are so many opportunities out here that can take you wherever you want to go that you didn't even know existed. So I was like, what, 30 days? Oh, that's not too bad. So I started listening to this tape for 30 days, twice a day, on my way to work, on my way from work. And on the 30th day, this lady brought her mom, 80-year-old mom, to the hospital, because I work in the hospital, in the ER. I'm doing her mom EKG, and she's like, "Oh, are you in crypto world?" She asked me this question. I was like, "Yeah, I am." And she was like, "Oh, well, there's this new bot that got introduced in the US. It's so amazing. You don't lose money, blah, blah, blah." So that's how, we got connected. She introduced me to MapBot, which is no longer really, but we found a good solution for MapBot. So from MapBot, as soon as I got into MapBot, right a month after that, the crypto market crashed, and my money, I got stuck like everybody else. And 2 months after that, that's where this project that we're talking about tonight, got introduced to us. I was just like, wow. So I when I talk about this project, I feel so confident. I feel so, I feel so much pride sharing it with people, because I know the way it came to me was a sign that is a great opportunity that will really help a lot of people, reach their financial goal. It's something that crypto alone is really here to level the playing field. But when you get into a DeFi project, then like the one that we have here, we were talking about 3 years when we first started, but now we have a 7-year project, meaning, you have a chance to start now and decide that in 7 years you can get any independence, financial independence that you would like to get, because the plan is that the roadmap is clear, and all the advantages that David just mentioned earlier, the AMA, when you have your investment in the liquidity pool, you gain on a lot. You gain in a lot of ways. The auto market maker, you gain on the rise of the coins that you're holding, and then you also earn from the fees. And now we're mining another coin for free. I mean, this is so many opportunities that you can really make your investment work for you. You cannot see this thing in a centralized bank or a centralized project. Like he said, instead of them helping your money work for you, they use your money to work for them, and they charge you for it. I mean, it's just like this project, especially the one that we're in DeFi. I'm telling everybody, my family, my friends, anybody that is close to me, if you really want to get a chance to be among the 5%. You need to pay attention. Maybe if somebody told you, just come, this is good, but I would like people to really dig into it to understand how deep and profound this project is, because it's going to help set a lot of people free financially. So I really just want to encourage everybody that's here tonight. It's your first time, being here, or you've been here a lot, please take a second look at this project. It's not like they said, it's not an LMM or affiliate marketing, just because we see the beauty and where this is going, and then we know a lot of people can really profit from it. So that's what I got to share tonight with everybody. And then I'm just so blessed and excited to be here. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Edwidge. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And again, I love listening to your story. This is really the broader testament. I love your story of listening to Earl Nightingale, watching that period of time go, the 30 days, and then getting hit with this opportunity. And many times we experience this thing in life where, here's an opportunity, but then it isn't quite what you think it is, but then it leads you to something else. And here we are talking about FSTSwap, and you're obviously very, very excited, and you've experienced some amazing things in the project. So thank you so much, Edwidge, for sharing with us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Indeed. Absolutely. So we're going to change gears and have a little fun for just a moment. I'm going to ask Carlos to jump in. We're going to give away some FON. So FON, guys, is again, if you're new on the call, FON is a new token to the ecosystem. We just started mining FON within the last month. We just started mining this. So we're at the very, 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 very beginning of a 7-year run of mining this token, and 30% of all FON is going to be mined in the first year. So if you're on this call and you're listening to this story, you're at a place where you can take advantage of something that's absolutely massive. And so Carlos is going to give away some FON tonight, and we're going to do it in a fun way. Carlos, you ready to go? Well, come on in. It's my master of the wheel.
Can you guys hear me, guys?
We can hear you loud and clear. Hey, Carlos.
All right, gentlemen.
You got it.
Ladies, tonight, we want to give away 2 FON, guys. So we're going to put your names on this wheel, and we're going to spin this wheel. It takes more than 24 hours, depending on your hash power, to mine 1 FON. So if you don't the hash power, this is a great gift right here, guys. All right, here we go. Renee, can you share that wheel? All right, here we go. On 3. 2 and
Carlos may have lost connection. So Marlene, congratulations on winning the FON here. And we're gonna spin the wheel one more time. Make sure you send us the address, Marlene, so that we can get the FON to you. And winner number 2 is coming up right now. And it stops at Aziz. Congratulations. Please send us your FON address You can put it in the chat room here, and then we'll grab it and send you your fund. Thank you for everybody for joining us on the call today and participating in the spin here. We're going to keep doing this on a regular basis, so please join us on the calls. Back to you, David.
All right, actually, don't go far, Peter. We're gonna thank you for jumping in there. I think we lost Carlos for a bit. But we like to do things like this that are fun. We want to give away fun. We want to get folks involved. We want to invite your friends, your guests. We want to do all kinds of really fun and exciting activities. But let's jump back in and talk about the project, and let's talk about a couple important updates that have happened in the last week or so. And Peter, you're going to get us kicked off. And we've been spending a little bit of time talking about nodes and voting. Can you just kind of run through where we are in terms of nodes and most important things that people on the call need to know?
Absolutely. Okay, so the developers created an ecosystem, and it's called nodes. And what they've done is created these nodes that people can actually participate in. And this is the way it works. Anybody that wants to create a node can put 21,000 FIST aside and have something of what is called a node. And what that does is that they've devised a system where the top 37 nodes will receive a certain number of fund based on their ranking. The way the ranking is devised is by voting. There's a voting system that's been created where anybody that mines in the USDT FIST pool will be given a token called the FRT token. So whatever you stake in that pool, you will get a certain number of FRT tokens. And these are the vote tokens. So with these FRT tokens, which you get for free by mining or by staking in the USDT FIST pool, you can allocate these FRT tokens to a particular node. So right now we have about 55 existing nodes, 55 communities or people that come together, put their FIST in, and in a sense, acquired a node. And what happens now is that people that are in this USDT FIST pool, they can actually vote for a particular node. So we are the English International Community Node. We are not in the top 37 as of yet, but we are building towards that. And the top 37 of these 55 nodes that are existing will receive daily fawn rewards. So you are able to vote by taking the FRT token, going into the node platform. I'm going to show you that at the end of the call. And then you can actually vote for a particular node. And then your vote is going to be placed in that particular node. And each of the nodes allocate a certain a percentage of their daily fawn earnings to the people that vote for them. So it's a great way for us to have another stream of income by placing our FRT with a particular node. Now, the nodes are intended to build the communities. So we are probably the only English speaking community, international community. We'll be the gateway for all people in North America and other parts of the world that are primarily English speaking, so that we can help them get into cryptocurrency. We can help developers come on board through our node and have their projects presented to the FSTSwap platform. So it's a great way for us to build communities, great way to have different events, projects, support calls. And if we get in the top 37, obviously there will be fawn earned, and we can disperse some of that to people that are helping and building our community. So this is exciting. We are proud to be the English community node, and we are striving to get to the top 37, and it will come in time. It's just a matter of continuing to build the community and getting the information out for everyone. So let's go into the next part of the project, David. I think it's the elephant pools that Sanjeev's going to introduce us about. Yep.
Yep, Sanjeev.
All right.
Come on in, Sanjeev. Hey.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Good. So Sanjeev, let me just set you up. So Sanjeev is going to talk to us about a new opportunity to earn in the project. So what's really cool about this project, Sanjeev, would you just real quick before you get into the elephant pools, would you count off all the different ways that somebody can participate and earn as a participant in this project? And then would you talk to us about the newest way that was just launched in elephant pools?
Absolutely, I can. Hello, everyone. This is the actual interface where rubber meets the road. We've talked about a few slide decks. This is the wallet, which is my wallet sitting on my phone. True DeFi, right? We're not sending the money to anybody else. There are at least 4 different ways of making or earning money daily on this platform as of today, the stage that the project is in. And I can talk about the first one, which is Liquidity Pool. I'll show you an example here. This one, you can earn 0.3%, as you can see. Anything that you are providing liquidity here, the project is going to pay you back 0.3% APR, right? So not the APR, sorry, on the transaction fee. The APR is slightly different. It comes up to close to 7.8, and then they vary by pool. That's number one. The second way is by being in a farm. And this is a piece that's most exciting as of today, right? Because we have about 30 different pools where you have APRs listed here, anywhere from a little over 160 all the way down to 70, 40, and so on and so forth, right? And this is a second way of making money. This is staking your LP tokens. So what does LP token stand for? It's the liquidity pool token. So once you provide liquidity, you are going to earn that automatically, and then you stake it here. So that way you're not just earning 0.3. In addition to that, you're earning some fun in as a reward every day, right? And then you can cash it out every day or reinvest. It's completely up to you. Now, some of these numbers are amazing here. Best in the industry as of today. I look at a couple of other competitors and they're not even close. Backed up by really, really strong liquidity pool, anywhere from 450 million all the way down to a little less than $50,000, right? So overall platform has about $1 billion in terms of liquidity that it's holding as of today, which is really amazing. And all of those numbers can be found on this particular wallet. So we talked about the second way of earning money. So what is the third way? The third way is your e-pool, which is the elephant pool, right? So what are these? You don't have to stake against another token, where you saw in the previous example in the farms, you have to have a combination of 2 tokens. I'll go there really quick, stare and compare. FIST USDT, so you got to have equal proportions of FIST and USDT in terms of dollars. When you go to Elephant Pool, it's pretty much locking your money in here, and you earn an about 7.29 APR in terms of FTTS. FTTS is a 4th token in the ecosystem that is being developed. It is a whitelisted token, very important to note. What is a whitelisted token is something that the project has done the due diligence and looked at it and said, all right, this is not a fake coin. It's not going to be a rug pull. It is good coin. So let's introduce it to our community, right? So a couple of things to note there. So that's a third way of making money is the elephant pools. Really new, just started this week. So sorry, about a week ago. So pretty new. The last way of making money is through nodes. Once you are in FIST USDT pool, you do earn what's called a FRT token, which is a farm reward token. When you take that and then you stake it in the nodes, that's what Peter was alluding to earlier, where he said there's about top 37. If we're part of the top 37, we start earning, right? So this is what that is about. And a combined, and they do have, I can just go through really quick some of the top ones. And where we are is we are a candidate. This is our node in the wallet. So about 90% of the earnings are being distributed to the community. So please keep in mind, that's very important, that the percentage that is being distributed. So that is when we make it to that 37, top 37. This is the 4th way of making money. Nothing special. The FRT token that you earn by being part of the FSTUSDT pool. You just have to vote to a particular node, and then you start earning every day. So those are the 4 different ways. I'm not even including the bullish pattern of all the 3 different tokens, right? So we're talking about, okay, what if this price stays at the same that it is today? That we're not even considering that, and then there's such a room to grow there. So anything that I might have missed, Peter, David, that you want me to go over?
You're awesome. Don't go far. We'll come back and we'll probably have some questions and Q&A. But this is amazing. So thank you, Sanjeev.
Thank you.
So here's where I want to go next. What's really cool about this project, and for those of us who started in this project about a year ago, what I'm going to show you didn't exist. All that we had to go on was calls like this. We had to show up on calls like this, and we started hosting calls like this multiple times throughout the week. And that's really how we learned. We learned by trial and error. We learned by doing and by showing up. The beautiful thing about where this project has gone in the last few months is it has really evolved into a very mature project. And so there's a published white paper. The white paper is a good way for you to spend some time getting to understand the ins and outs, the nuances of the project. And one of the things that we've done is, as Peter and Sanjeev have both just mentioned, we collectively have become the English international community node. And with that, we take responsibility for helping to spread the message of this opportunity, of this community, and of this project to English-speaking people around the world. And not to the exclusion of other language groups, but most of us here are English speakers. And so the vast majority of the community, which is now hundreds of thousands of members, are in Asia. And so we really do have an enormous responsibility and opportunity to introduce this project to people who otherwise wouldn't know about it. And so I'm going to take you to the white paper. Now, one of the things that we've done is we've been working on an upgraded version. For those of you who are part of the community and are familiar with the white paper, we've been working on making some modifications to the existing white paper. So the site that I'm going to show you is a site that we've been developing for the English community, and you can get there. Renee, do me a favor and drop the link to it in the chat. It's myfstswap.com, and it's myfstswap.com. Now, we know that people are going to hear FIST and type in FIST, so we got that one too. So either one will take you there, but FIST is, with FSTSwap is without the I, so it's myfstswap.com. And that will take you to the site that I'm going to share with you now. All right, so this is the white paper. And again, this is a version of the white paper for our existing community members. This is a version of the white paper. It's going to look a little different than the one you've been seeing. This is the first time that we're sharing it. We actually just published it, and we're working with the development team to have them replace the existing English version so that we can take over the English translations for them. But I want to walk you through, both for our existing members and our guests that are on the call, I want to walk you through so you understand what's here as a resource for you. Because here's the thing that I know, especially for our guests, is that if this is the first time you're on the call, you're hearing things that may sound confusing, and it's a lot of information, it's a lot to absorb. And so I want you to know that there's a lot of resources that will help you find your way and find success in the project. So we have a project overview. That's where you land when you go to MyFSTSwap. It just kind of walks you through the key project details and features. You can take some time to read through that. At the bottom of every page, there's a link that just kind of takes you through the story. So the next page takes you to to our community. And of course, you can see here, we're more than just a project. I've mentioned that a couple of times. We are a community. And so a couple different places that you can find us. There is the official Twitter for the developers of this project, and we encourage everybody to follow that Twitter page. There's a Telegram room where we stay in communication with one another within the community. We just launched a YouTube channel for the English community as well. So all of our recorded calls and lots of good information, guides and tutorials and so forth will be on that YouTube channel. It's live, ready to go. Last couple of calls are already there. And our Zoom is listed here for you too. And as a quick piece of housekeeping, for our existing community members, today will be the last day that we use the 10x crypto Zooms for our community calls. We'll have a new Zoom room. Look out for the announcements going into next week so that you make sure you don't miss it. We'll keep making that announcement, but today we'll retire 10x crypto Zooms today, and we'll have a new Zoom room that we'll be using going forward. All right, so while you're on the community page, you can also see the last recorded call. So this is our call from Monday. And if you keep going to connect with us, that takes you to our live presentation and discussion call schedule. So you can see here, we do calls on Mondays at 10 p.m., Wednesdays at 10 p.m. That's the call we're on now, in case you didn't know. Thursdays at 12 p.m. And then we do live support. This is technical support. So again, a lot of us are new to crypto. We're new to DeFi. There's a lot of moving parts, and it can be difficult to figure out. And so you don't have to worry about feeling overwhelmed or alone. We do support calls. Jump on a Zoom call. We can take you into a breakout room so that you have the ability to work with someone privately. And that happens on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. These are all Eastern times. And then we list the most recent calls are here for you as well. And of course, you can get to the recent calls on our YouTube channel as well, but we made it all really convenient so you can come right here and find them as well. All right, so we're just going to keep going to get started. So if you wanted to take yourself right into the project, you absolutely can. Just follow the getting started guides here. So there's essentially 3 steps. You're going to create a wallet, you're going to get some BEP20 tokens, and then you're going to set up your wallet in order to start functioning within the FSTSwap ecosystem. So if you go to create a wallet, there's a video here. Peter, who you just heard on the call, did a great job walking us through how to create your BitKeep wallet for FSTSwap, and written instructions with some pictures here for you as well. Get your BEP20 token. So you're going to need some BNB. Great place to start to get that is on Binance. Depending on where you are in the world, you're going to have or need to use different options. But once you start with BNB, again, that's the Binance coin. Once you get that into your wallet that you just set up in the previous step, then everything else is pretty much smooth sailing from there. And then the final step on connecting your wallet, we've got a video here for you how to begin using BitKeep wallet for FSTSwap. And so Peter walks you through some of those basic steps. And again, there's pictures and written instructions. So you've got a nice support system here that will take you all the way through it if you wanted to do it on your own. All right, if you wanted to get access to the token addresses. So if you're new to this space, let me refresh this real quick. Okay, so if you're new to crypto or DeFi, one of the things that's super, super important that's in the DeFi space, it's maybe a little different than what you're accustomed to in the traditional or the more traditional crypto space, centralized crypto, is that you really need to be dialed into contract addresses. And what I mean by that is you might find that there is other tokens called FIST or FON or OSK, but there's only one token that's represented by this contract address. And so anytime you're sending money or doing transactions within the DeFi space, you really want to make sure that you're using the correct contract address. And then the other benefit of being in crypto and the benefit of blockchain technology is that everything is transparent. You can see every transaction, everything can be verified. There's really no way to hide, no place to hide. And contract address gives you all the visibility of all the information that you might want to know. Now you can actually come over here and click on the name, and it'll take you right to that token information on BSC scan. And that's where you'll find all the blockchain information. So you've got the contract addresses for the 3 main tokens in the project plus USDT. The roadmap, now the important thing about the roadmap is that it's not listed in chronological order, but it is listed to give you an idea of where the community and where the project is headed. So if you wanted to get an idea of what's yet to come, there's a whole lot that's still yet to come. You can see there's some things that have been checked off. We've actually done some things here recently that haven't gotten checked off yet, but the community is on the move. We just talked about nodes a little bit. One of the things that's coming up that we're excited about that nodes play an important part in is Dow Governance. Now, what's Dow Governance? Dow Governance is important for all of us who are investors. And the reason why is that it is the way that you have a voice in what happens in the project. Now think about it for a moment. Many of us have invested in mutual funds and stocks and all of these other things, and we have very little, if any, voice, any say-so at all in how these projects function. Here, as a participant in a DAO and a participant in a node, that FRT that we talked about not only has some financial benefit, but it's essentially your voice. It's the way that you are represented. And so that's yet to be deployed, but right around the corner from seeing the governance of this entire project be handed over to all of the participants through this node structure. All right, so that's our roadmap. Super important here is it, big question, is FSTSwap safe? One of the things you should know is that there are audits on the DEX itself, there's audits on the farms, audits on the tokens, and all of those can be found. CertiK is probably the most recognized and widely respected auditing firm for cryptocurrency. And so these are all listed here for you. All right, and then I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you get an idea here. There's lots and lots of tools and resources available on the site for you. And let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so yeah, let me stop there. So guys, those of you who are already part of the community, very excited to launch this site for you. There we go. You guys might recognize it. Look, it's a beautiful community. More than the project, guys, we are a community of people. What's beautiful about this is that it's made up of folks that have never invested, that have no experience, a little bit of experience, lots and lots of experience. We're really a group of individuals, hundreds of thousands around the world, thousands around the US, North America, Canada, around the West Indies, South America, who are all learning and growing together. And so we're really excited to introduce and welcome those of you who are hearing this story for the first time. If, again, this feels overwhelming or exciting, either way, I'm gonna invite you to come back to future calls. Join us on the call tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. Join us next Monday. Keep coming back to calls, get more and more familiar, whether you participate or not. The education that we do here is free to you. And so you'll have an opportunity to learn. We do all kinds of important education around the project. So this site's available. We're very, very excited to share that with you guys. And I'm gonna pause here for just a moment. We're almost at the top of the hour, and I wanna make sure that we give some time to guests that are on the call to answer or to ask some questions. And one of the things, real quick before we do that, that I'm just gonna drop a little teaser about is that we have been working on something. Sanjeev, who you just heard from, has been working on something we're very excited that's going to get added to that site that I just showed you, and that is a calculator that will show you exactly what can be earned by participating in the project. You can take your own scenario and your own situation and see what's possible. And what's beautiful about what we're talking about here, we talked about, I said at the beginning of the call, if you don't remember anything else, remember the fact that we're talking about an opportunity, a project that allows you to earn daily, passively, without any experience at all. And even what makes that even better is that you have the ability to compound those earnings. So you're in a liquidity pool, you're in a mining farm, you're earning rewards in the form of fund. Fund today is right around $12, and you can take that fund, put it right back into the farm, and earn more fund with it. It's just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to pause for just a moment. If there are any questions, we want to give some time to take some questions. And if there are any questions in the chat, if somebody would do me a favor and dig those up for us. Any questions? If you have a question, what I want you to do is, if you know how to raise your hand, or just feel free to unmute if you don't, and come on in with your question, or any if you have a comment, we'll open up the floor for you guys.
One of the questions was what needs to be staked in the elephant pools, and Sanjeev answered that, and it is the fawn token that needs to be staked. Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Sanjeev. All right, anybody else with questions? All right, guys, yeah, it's perfectly okay if we don't have questions. We do these calls. All right, there you go, Scotty. Hey, if we do these calls multiple times a week, so if you jump off this call and something comes to mind, join us in Telegram. That's a great place to get your questions answered. or come back tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. We'll hang out with you. Hey, Scotty, come on in.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So I have a question. So how safe is your money? So, and that's one question. And how easily can you get it back out? So say if you had $10,000 and you wanted to put into the USDT FIST pool, I know they have to be equal amounts together, but how safe is your money? Because, tomorrow something could happen and your money could disappear, and say something happened in your life that you needed the money right away. How quickly can you get access to your money?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking that, Scotty. So in terms of safety is kind of an interesting question. I'll ask some of the other community members to weigh in here, but I will say funds are available for you immediately. When you put your funds in the pool, they always remain in your control. Everything is controlled in the DeFi space. Everything is controlled by smart contracts. The decentralized exchange is a smart contract. And so everything is on the blockchain, managed by smart contracts. And so the risk to you, I think the question about, is your money safe? Well, one of the things, and Sanjeev kind of passed by it while he was showing us the different ways to earn, but he did show us the USDT FIST liquidity pool. And you're looking at a pool that's $250 million rich. There's a lot of financial commitment to that pool. And if you understand what we just talked about in terms of all the different ways that we earn, here's why this project is so powerful. It's because there's such stickiness to the project. When we first got introduced to it a year ago, there was one token, then it was two, then it was three. If you've been a part of this project, then you've got a number of different tokens in your wallet. And all of that means that the ecosystem then becomes really stable and really strong, because when you've got 4 assets from this project in your wallet, you're less likely to leave, you're less likely to be careless about how you treat the project. And so we've got a really strong liquidity pool, which means that it remains fairly stable, over $250 million. And you always have access to your funds. You're not handing it over to anybody else. The funds are always within your control. Hey, Sanjeev, I see your hand up. I think you want to come in and comment on that as well.
Yeah, David. Just to kind of add to whatever you're saying, it is absolutely easy to transfer money. Like you were asking the question there, it's about 3 steps, and I've done it multiple times. Small amounts, big amounts, ranging anywhere from $100 to almost $5,000. It took me anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. That's about it. By the time it actually hits either your personal crypto wallet, or bank will take obviously a couple of days if you're absolutely in need of the money. Yeah, that's how it'll take. 3 steps to your personal crypto wallet. 3 hours plus 2 days if you wanted to get into your bank account, right? So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Sanjeev. Scotty, is that clear for you?
Yeah, I'm just worried about it's not so much getting the money out as quick as possible. It's not really money that I totally rely on, but it's just the security of your money. If the project collapses and you've got, say, 15,000-20,000 in there, and the project collapses, I know what you mean by all these tokens and how much money's involved now. And there's some, but these projects do collapse, right? Or they're not 100%. I saw the first project too, right? So that kind of came to an end pretty quick too, right? So now we're on a new project. So that's
well, let me clarify. So that's what's beautiful about what you just said is that it's not accurate. And so let me clarify for you. What's beautiful about it is that this project went through a metamorphosis, and in that metamorphosis, in that evolution, what happened was we have coins that we're still trading today. FIST has been a part of this project since October of 2020. OSK has been a part of this project since the spring of 2021. And so those are still core to the project. They're the two core tokens that are part of this project. Now, what we experienced in the last few months was both FIST and OSK hitting all-time highs, ridiculously high numbers, and millions and millions and millions of dollars were made within the community. And then they experienced something that felt really traumatic to a lot of people, and that is they had this what some might call a crash. They lost a ton of value in what felt like in an instant. But here are a couple of facts to take away from that. One is that when we started this project, for most of us, even after that significant downturn in value, we're still up. We're still in a better position than when we started. Not everybody, but most of us were. But here's the bigger story that's my takeaway, and I hope that I can impart this to you as well, is that what we were able to witness is the power of the community and its consensus, because very, very few projects could survive the kind of shaking that this community did. And we're here today, we're better, we're stronger, we're moving faster than ever with the same tokens that were part of this project. So this isn't a new project, it's the exact same project, following the exact same roadmap and vision that we were talking about even a year ago. The reason this community was able to survive, shake itself off, and put itself back on track is because it is literally a community of people that have gotten together on calls like this, gotten to know each other, gotten educated, taken that education to empower themselves on how to move and make decisions and function in consensus. And so it's that consensus that brought everybody, that is bringing the community and has brought the community back together. And the key takeaway that I think we learned as a community is the power that we hold in our liquidity pools. And so the reason I've mentioned the liquidity pool a couple of times is that the reason we saw the shaking, for lack of a better word, in the value of these two tokens was because we left our liquidity pool exposed. At a point in time, the community thought that there was more money to be made outside of the liquidity pool. There wasn't mining happening at the time, so that extra incentive for staying in the liquidity pool wasn't there. And so as people started coming out of the liquidity pool, looking for opportunities outside to earn more, the liquidity pool was depleted to really numbers that were very, very low, and it left us vulnerable. Well, that hurt a lot for the people that went through that experience, but what it did was it was a real life learning lesson. And what we have done as a community is take that lesson and decide, I believe we've decided with consensus to never let that happen again, to really pay attention to our liquidity pools. We spent a lot of time talking about the power and the importance of the liquidity pool and the power that we as an individual and collectively, the power that we have to protect this project for the long term by making sure that our liquidity pools are strong, that we don't take our eye off of it, that even if there is a temptation, I go back to something that I enjoy saying, which is if everyone in the liquidity pool were just like me, what would the liquidity pool be? And so it really does give us a sense of personal responsibility that we make a difference in whether or not this project is successful. So hope that adds a little bit of color to the perspective.
Yeah, it does totally. And another thing is, like you mentioned, we learned a lot, right? So when you learn, you become a better person once you learn more, right?
For sure. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Thank you for your help. It's excellent.
Yeah. Thank you, Scotty. I appreciate you. All right. Carlos, come on in, sir. Carlos,
Hey,
you are.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. So what I wanted to say was part of what you were saying, when that happened, literally, we had a lot of crypto tourists. And what this community does is this community doesn't allow crypto tourists to stay long. So we are of action, we are of the same mindset, and we're going towards the same direction. So what you saw when we got hit with the low liquidity was a couple of crypto tourists that were just around. And then the other thing is people weren't going in the right direction. Like David said, if everyone were to act like me, what would this project look like? And how depleted would our liquidity pool be? If we all decided to just come in here, wait for an exit point, and then just leave, right? Like I want to bring a new word to the community that maybe a lot of us, we haven't used this, but It's called exit liquidity, right? And we don't want to be someone's exit liquidity.
Wow.
And what happens is those are traders. Those are people that trade, they wait for a certain point and then they ditch. So we're stronger because of it. We're smarter because of it. And the developers know that we're smarter, stronger, and more committed. And that's why we're getting so many developers to pay attention to us now, because we're educated.
I think we lost you, Carlos. Come on back.
Yeah, I'm
There you go.
sorry, that's ready to put our
Yeah,
money
okay.
on the line. So the developers see that, and I sorry, I keep getting a phone call trying to come in. I apologize. So we keep so what's happening is that the developers see that we're educated and we're accumulating more masses of number in this community. Plus our community members are diversifying. Like now we've got Fawn, we've got Fist. There was a point in time where I didn't have any OSK. And when that crash happened, sorry, but it was an opportunity for me to get back in the game. So I was like, wow, the price is low. I've seen this coin at 800. All the traders are gone. All the crypto tourists are gone. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next rise. And I'm back in. So, I mean, that's my story. And I've been sticking with this project for a while. I've done nothing but have gains with this project. So I got myself a $30,000 NFT that is giving me airdrops. And that's because I had the patience and I had the mindset to hold and stay in the PNLGs and then do something with the free money they gave us. They gave us free money. What are you doing with your free money? Ask yourself that. I'm compounding with my free money. I'm getting free fund and I'm going right back in to a voting pool to earn more FRT. And I'm doing something with the free money they're giving me. So what are you doing with your fund? Right? So if you're new to the project and you haven't got free money, welcome to free money, because they're giving us free money for the next 7 years. And the first 2 years, they're giving us the most amount of free money. So welcome, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you for that, Carlos. I like the term. We're gonna have to spend the call talking about that. Exit liquidity. Don't be somebody's exit liquidity. That's we should do a deep dive on that one. All right. So if there's no other questions, I want to do a quick recap of what we've talked about here today. I know we've kind of touched on a number of points, but I want to, especially for our guests, want to leave you with some high-level points of what we've talked about here today. So FSTSwap is the decentralized exchange where FIST token is the main coin for that platform. There is currently over $1 billion now deployed in various liquidity pools in the FSTSwap DEX. FSTSwap was formed in December of 2021, just about 6 months ago, right in the middle of our involvement with the project. So we were there. Many of us on the call today were there at the birth of this decentralized exchange. So we've actually seen it evolve really from its infancy. And as of May 1st, we're now mining FON through various liquidity pools that have been approved by the FSTSwap development team. And in order to qualify for mining FON tokens, the incoming projects from other developers must have 200,000 FIST in their liquidity pool. So these are projects that have a massive commitment to the DEX. So now we have coins like Ethereum and BNB in liquidity pools in FSTSwap, and of course various other liquidity pools as well. And we're attracting massive communities into the FSTSwap ecosystem. And our core pools, which involve the main community of FSTSwap, include the USDT FIST pool, OSK FIST pool, the FON FIST pool, and the FON OSK pool. There are currently there's a total of 330 million FON tokens. And FON will be the governance token of the new blockchain. The new blockchain is due to be released in October of this year. We're going to be mining Fawn for the next 7 years. 30% of it's going to be mined in the first year, and it just started May 1st. So guys, again, if you're on this call, you are at the very, 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 very beginning of a 7-year run, 30% of it being mined this year. So you have an opportunity to get your hands on some Fawn. To give you a frame of reference, BNB, by the way, is the blockchain token for Binance. BNB now, I don't know what it's trading at today, but somewhere in the $300 range. I don't know if Fawn ever gets to the $300 range. It certainly has the potential to do so. And before we leave, I'm going to tell you why I think so. Of the 30% of the Fawn mined in the first year, 15% goes to developers' wallets. And of the remaining 85%, 18% is distributed through nodes. The USDT FST pool, we talked about the ability to participate in getting FRT. You can get that through participation in the USDT FST pool. FRT serves two purposes. It's an earning, it's a tool that you can use to earn additional Fawn, and it's your way that you're exercising your voice by voting for the node of your choice. Each member can now vote using your FRTs. The top 37 nodes earn the highest amount of rewards and distribute that to their members. They get to decide what that distribution looks like. All right, and we are, as we've mentioned before, we created the English International Community Node. And our job and our responsibility is simply to spread this message to attract additional participants and investors into the project. We believe that by doing so, we protect our and your collective, our investments in the project, because we make the project stronger. When we get into the top 37, which will be shortly, we'll be paying out 90% of all earnings to the node. 90% of that will go back to the investors. And our focus, our goal, our vision is to help as many people as possible be successful, get into the DeFi space and be successful. We're going to do that by educating them and supporting them through all of the different means that we talked about tonight. Our goal is to grow the English-speaking community, participating in this project to millions of people around the world. And we'd like to invite you to be a part of that with us. Sanjeev, I want you to do something for me, if you would. We looked at the USDT FST pool, 200, I think it was right around 250 million. We just talked a little bit about the OSK, and Carlos mentioned something about OSK and our liquidity pool. And I want to look at the size of the liquidity pool for OSK. And I want to talk about where we were just a few months ago. We've mentioned the word crash. And so I want to give some perspective, especially for those who might be on the call. Before we leave tonight's call, I want to give this a sense of what we've accomplished in the last few months, where our low point for the liquidity pool was, if anybody on the call remembers that, and approximately where we are today. Hey, Sanjeev, can you, are you in a position to share that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely share our liquidity pool numbers that are to date. The history, I'll just read it out, if that's okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, give me 1 second. There you go. So this is the history of pretty much the price fluctuations of OSK. What are we looking at? We're looking at about a little over 400 million in the pool, and there's about 5.5 million OSK tokens that are contributing to the pool, right? So very strong, extremely strong. Now, if you wanted to look at how it's been doing, the price fluctuations in about last a month or so, it was at a high of $60 on May 8th, which is exactly a month ago, and it's been pretty consistent. I know that there's a lot of holding of tokens as of today, which is good. They're being locked. Very important to know that, TVL, which is a total volume locked, right? So it's really good. It creates a stability for that coin. And these are some of the numbers. I don't know if is this what you had in mind? Yeah.
Yeah, Sanjeev, I don't know if you know the answer. If somebody else does, I saw Tony pop in the call. Good to see you, Tony. If somebody knows, remembers, what was the low point for this pool? This pool that you just mentioned is over $400 million strong today. Just a few months ago, we talked about this shaking, this crash that we had. OSK was a part of that. How low did that pool get? Everybody remember? Anybody know?
Yeah, that I can actually bring it up in terms of the analytics that we have here in the tool. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the analytics. This is the $1 billion that we keep talking about. So now if you want to go into the US OSK FIST, that's the 400 million, right, that we saw there. Yeah, so if we look back about a month ago, we're still looking at 400, right? So we went all the way up to 552 and then came back down to 400 now. So
yeah, what I'm looking for, we were at a point within the last 3 months, 4 months, where this liquidity pool had gotten down to as low as like 40 million, possibly lower than that. I don't remember, and I haven't looked at the number in a while, but we've literally 10x the size of our liquidity pool in the last 3 months. No small task at all. And so when we talk about the stability of a project, the commitment, the consensus of the community and its participation in the project, and we talk about the lessons learned by leaving a liquidity pool exposed, this is the response that this community had was, yeah, we learned the lesson. It didn't feel good. It wasn't a lot of fun. But the response is to put $400 million to 10x that liquidity pool to keep this project protected and keep it safe. And so that's the project that we're introducing you to. If you're a guest on the call tonight, this is the community and this is the way that we behave. This is our consensus to enjoy and to protect this amazing project that we love so much. One last thing that I'm going to share with you guys before we go. Thank you, Sanjeev. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and to your question, David, we will bring that up on our next call. I remember we had that website. I just can't point it right now. It was like aave.cc or something like that. So
yeah, all good. All right, so I want to leave you with some real world numbers that you can take with you. So what's the benefit for you if you decide to participate in this project? So you get to earn FON daily. When we talk about APR, the APR is distributed in terms of FON. So you can earn FON daily, and if you decide, you can cash it out every single day. Price of FON is roughly today around $12. Of course, we believe that all of the coins in this project will increase in value because they all have an amazing utility. FIST being the token for the decentralized exchange. What's really key to understand about the project is that we're building this really vibrant community so that when we launch the blockchain, there's already a vibrant community in place. And so that means that FON, the other token, will have an amazing utility being the mainnet token for the blockchain. And then OSK is already being deployed. It's been used to fund entertainment, movie projects, a movie with Jackie Chan, and it's going to make an amazing debut in the GameFi space. And if you know anything about GameFi, it's absolutely exploding. It is the biggest sector of crypto that's happening right now. And so we'll see OSK deployed there. So what's in it for you as an investor? I'm going to give you a scenario. Currently, for each $100,000 investment, and I'm just throwing a number out here for you, but just to give you an idea of what's possible. So if you invested $100,000 in the project and you don't have to, you can start with $100. But if you invested $100,000 in the project, you would earn, as of today, approximately 35 FON a day, and roughly that's going to equate to somewhere between $400 and $450 a day. $400 to $450 a day. Take that down to 10,000, it's $40 to $45 a day. $1,000, you're earning $4 to $5 a day. Guys, I just don't know a lot of places where you can participate in something, it's passive, doesn't require you to be an expert. There's a community of people that are there to support you, educate you, help you along the way, and you get to earn in such amazing ways, triple-digit APRs in really massive liquidity pools. So that's our story, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us I'll take one last pass if there's any questions. And if not, we're going to invite you to join us on tomorrow's call. Carlos is hosting that call tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And after tomorrow, we'll be back again next Monday. All right. Anybody? Peter is going to close us off. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about how to access how to use your FRT voting for a node. Again, this is kind of a new feature in our community. So we're going to close up our call with that. And then Peter, if you would just send us off. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll just share my screen. So if you guys are interested in participating in the node voting, this is how it's done. I'm going directly into my token pocket. I'm using token pocket. You can use BitKeep. It functions the same way. And the main thing is to get to the FSTSwap. Okay, this is the front page, the assets page. And you can see I've listed the coins. I put FON in there, FIST. These are the relevant coins to our project. FRT is shown here. I've actually transferred my FRT into our English community node, and I'll show you where that is. So we go to Discover, FSTSwap, and this is the FSTSwap. FSTSwap.finance is the URL that gets you to this page. And then here is where you will be able to swap your coins. If you have funds in BNB, you can swap it to FIST or USDT, whichever pool that you want to participate in. And you can also pair up FIST with USDT for the main pool that we're talking about today is the FIST USDT pool. And once you pair up FIST USDT and put it into the liquidity pool, you will get FRT tokens automatically to your FRT right in the front page there. Okay, so if I invested $100,000, I would split 50,000 with FIST, 50,000 with USDT, I will get a certain proportion based on my investment of FRT. And then what I would do is go to the nodes at the bottom right. And this is where you'll see all the existing nodes as of today. There are 59 nodes, as you can see on the top, that have been created. And top 37 are the ones that get paid FON daily. And you can see the ones that are listed. And whichever node you want to vote for, you would just click on it and you'll be able to vote for that particular node. So let's go to our candidate node, where we're listed as a candidate node, meaning that we're outside of the top 37. And this is where you'll find our node, which is the English International node. And you can see that my FRT has been staked into this, into our node here. And all you have to do is, if you wanted to vote for a particular node, I can't vote for this node now because I've already put all my FRT. And you just click on the word vote. Let's go to the number 39. You click on vote, and then it would show you how much FRT you have, and then you can just hit max or a certain amount, and then you would put your FRT to this particular node, and your vote will be a part of that node. What that means is that this particular node, if you're in the number 39, it's going to pay out 93% of whatever it earns. If it was in the top 37, whatever it earns is going to pay out to all the people that have voted for them. Okay, so if we go back to the top 37, and let's look at Annie International. A lot of us know Annie, and she's paying out 99% of 99.9% of all the FON that her node earns, and it's going to pay out to all the voters. And since there's a lot of voters here, it may not be as big of an earning as somebody else that's lower in the ranking, and they pay out like 90%. Okay, so it's relative. You can work out the numbers, and you do your due diligence, of course, because when you vote for a node, you are giving them some advancement opportunity to the next highest level. So the higher the levels these nodes go to is based on the votes. Votes are the FRTs. Okay, so if you see 160.45 votes, that's 160.45 FRTs that have been staked into this particular node. And for number 7, for example, whatever they earn from the white papers that's set up, they will be giving out 90% of that FON to the people that have voted for them. That's automatically done. And then this is the extra stream of income. So we're striving to get to the top 37 so that everybody that votes for us will also get an extra stream of income. And to get to the top 37, looks like we need to get to 27 votes minimum. And that's just a matter of us getting the exposure out, letting people know how safe the project is. One thing you have to note is once you start voting and once you stake your FRT, one of the questions that Scotty asks is how liquid are your funds? You must make sure that you remove your FRT. For example, if I wanted to take out my money and I wanted to put it back into my wallet, it's as simple as unstaking your FRT. So all I would do is just click minus, and it's going to ask me to if I wanted to remove it, and then I would put confirm, and then you would go through the confirmation and the password and all that. Once I get the FRT out to the front wallet, it will show my 0.526 FRT will show up on the front wallet once I unstake it. And then I'll be able to withdraw from the liquidity pool. The liquidity pool is the FIST USDT liquidity pools. The way I can check that is I go to pools, and then I just create a pair, and then you will see, you just type in FIST or put in FIST USDT, and it will show you how much of that, how much of your pool coins are there. Okay, so this is a great way for people to understand how this works. The FRT must be unstaked from the node in order to withdraw anything from the liquidity pools. All right, so that's very important. And other than that, we're looking forward to building this incredible community. And of course, we want to make sure we get to the top 37. We are the English international node. You can find it in the candidate section. And then once you put your funds into the FIST USDT pool, you will have FRT that you can place. And of course, we're looking forward to building our node, especially with the community that we're all involved with. We want to keep supporting people. We will actually hold you guys through this process if you want. We have calls Tuesday, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the support. And of course, Monday, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern are our presentation calls, along with Thursday at noon for our presentation call. So tomorrow, please join us, bring your guests. We look forward to getting the information out to everyone. And thank you for joining us tonight.
All right, guys, feel free to unmute. This is the end of today's call. Feel free to unmute, say your goodbyes, and we'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. Carlos is our host for tomorrow's call. Please join us there. Please join us on Telegram. Link to the website for all the support and resources that we talked about today is in the chat for you. For our guests, thank you so much for joining us this evening. For those of you who won some fun, congratulations to you guys. We look forward to hanging out and seeing you on our future calls. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help. Have a great
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
See you tomorrow at 12.
Thank you, David. Thank you,
Good night,
Leader.
everyone.
Thank you, Carlos.
Great.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
That's all, everyone.
Good night.